Alright, guys, well, back in my Metroid Zero Mission Let's Play, I said something along the lines that if Metroid Prime 4 were to get a release date, I would immediately do Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Especially because I canceled the Metroid Prime 2 Let's Play due to progression issues that I had with my personal playthrough. But I had to wait a little bit longer to do Metroid Prime 2 because the Wii version the version I'm using, which was the Wii U version, Virtual Console version of the Wii version, if that makes any sense, just wasn't fucking working. And I, to this day, still don't understand what's causing it, and I never looked into it, mainly because I don't use the Wii U anymore that much anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. And I was also saying, I also believe I said that I was going to do Metroid Prime 2 if it got a remaster for the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2, neither of which fucking happened, so, I'm doing the original GameCube version. So yes, welcome to the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Let's Play. By the way, this is post-commentary once again, because, well, I'll explain a little bit when we start, whatchamacallit, when, we start the actual when we actually start, or when we start getting into it. Because I may make a few Metroid fans angry when I say this, but Metroid Prime 2, out of the Metroid Prime games we have so far, I'm not going to say all of them because Metroid Prime 4 isn't out yet, is my least favorite of the Metroid Prime series. And probably one of my least favorite Metroid games, period. I don't like this game for a few reasons. I don't like this game as much. Now, I'm not saying Prime 2 is terrible. It is good in some aspects, but there are a lot of things that hold this game back for me, and I will be getting into those aspects when we start getting into them. But I'm doing post-commentary for this Let's Play for a lot of reasons, and the big one is this is one of those games in the Metroid series that I just never memorized. Like, if you told me to do Metroid Prime 1, maybe Super, Dread, or I would argue Other M and Prime 3, I could probably 100% those with little to no issue. Maybe a few issues in terms of trying to do techniques early, to get shit early, but in terms of, like, knowing where to go and when to go there, Metroid Prime 2 is one of those games that I never remember where to go. So I will say for this entire Let's Play, I do have a guide on another window, and I am constantly, and I mean constantly, switching between, I'm looking at one monitor, looking at the guide, and then looking at my main monitor, looking at the game, because I'm trying to make sure I'm going the right way. So there will be times where it looks like I'm just kind of standing there. There's multiple reasons I'm going to be standing there, by the way, I will mention that. But there will be times where I'm looking like an absolute idiot just standing there for a second. And that's because I'm reading the guide and double checking that I'm going the right way. Because this is going to be a 100% run. At least I intend to make it one. So I will be going after all of the items, and I will say I will be going for the scan logs. I don't think I get 100%. I might spoil that now. I might have that. I'm actually right about where I stopped the Let's Play originally, I want to say. But I feel like I haven't missed any scan logs so far, but I don't know. I could change when I do a recording session next. But this entire Let's Play will be post-commentary, and this is the original GameCube version, which will be a bit of a struggle for me, because I may have played a lot of Metroid Prime, but I have primarily played a lot of the remaster and Metroid Prime trilogy, so I'm so used to the motion controls or the better control scheme for, sorry about that. What was I saying? I'm better used to the dual analog stick for Metroid Prime control scheme for Metroid Prime Remastered, because I played a lot of that, and that was actually the last version of any Metroid Prime game I played. So it's going to take a little bit for me to get used to the control scheme again. But, yeah. But Metroid Prime 2 is obviously a sequel to Metroid Prime 1, meaning that it does take place, in terms of the timeline, it takes place after Metroid Prime 1. So it's after the first game, but before the second game in the whole series. But I believe Nintendo of Japan likes to not acknowledge the Prime games because they're made by Retro Studios, which is an American-based team. But yeah, for some reason, begged Retro to come back for Metroid Prime 4. So, fucking whatever. But, so I guess in terms of story, I guess I should get into what's going on here. So the Galactic Federation was, I believe they were investigating something going on in the planet Aether system. But upon arrival, their communications just stopped and they've disappeared. Well, if you played Metroid 2, by the way, you know they're fucking dead. That's exactly what's going on here. Samus was sent to Aether to investigate and see if she can find them, and we already know where they are. They're fucking dead. So that's unfortunate, but considering that there's about probably 6 more hours to this game, I want to say, obviously we're going to be doing a lot more than just looking for Galactic Federation soldiers. But, you know, I will say I do like the Galactic Federation the most in the Prime series compared to the main series. Like, the Prime series Galactic Federation troops are, like, really competent. You know, yeah, they get killed a lot, but they don't do stupid shit. Like, the Galactic Federation doesn't really do anything too fucking stupid. You know, they don't try to harness the power of whatever... Oh, no, they did try to harness the power of Phazon, but they were pretty successful in that regard. And the Mother Brains that they use in Metroid Prime 3, you know, they actually did a pretty good job programming them and making sure they don't go crazy and try to kill everybody. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. But, like, Fusion and Super Metroid, they were fucking stupid. It's like, let's try to clone the most dangerous creatures in the world and see how that goes for us. Let's try to harness the power of the X-Parasites, despite the fact that they're, again, one of the most dangerous creatures in the entire fucking galaxy. You know, yeah, harnessing the power of Phazon wasn't that genius, but, you know, at least, I don't know how to phrase this, it wasn't too stupid. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm practicing bomb jumping, because this is the original GameCube version, which means that I better get used to bomb jumping, because... So far, I haven't really had an instance where I had to use bomb jumping to get an item early or anything. To get to... What the fuck? That guy just disappeared. What was I saying? I haven't had an instance where I had to use bomb jumping, but I will say that when I fight the Spider Guardian later in the game, which I... Oh, God, I'm not looking forward to that fight. That's probably going to take me an hour alone. I will end up having, you know, have to bomb jump in order to defeat it, because the Spider Guardian is a struggle, a little bit in the in the original version, and that's why I really wish I was doing the Wii version and not this version, because you have the spring ball in the Wii version. I know I come off as a fucking coward when I say that, but yeah, and. But yes, this is actually captured directly off my GameCube with, you know, AV cables with an HDMI converter. So I don't think the quality is the best out there. I'm pretty sure I could have, you know, I paid probably like $20 at Walmart for that, for the AV converter. I could probably get a better one in the near future, but for now I'm fine with this. And honestly, the quality isn't too bad looking at it, but I don't know. Maybe, you know, you guys can be the judge of that. But I think it looks good. But one thing you guys may have noticed that at the beginning of the Let's Play, I did adjust the brightness, because fuck me, this game is dark. I mean, that is the point, but there's going to be a point. There was a point when I did actually a test session to see if, you know, how the game was going to look, you know, when playing it. I couldn't see shit. I genuinely couldn't see shit. I was like, where the fuck am I going? There was a point where for like 5 minutes straight, I'm running into a wall, into into a wall because I can't see anything, and I'm squinting my eyes like, where the fuck am I going? But yes, the Prime 2, it gets dark, and I mean that's kind of the point, especially considering that there is light and dark Aether. We'll be getting into into that stuff later on, because for right now we're kind of just going through the tutorial a little bit, similar to Prime 1. You know, they're just giving us our excuse to, you know, get a taste of what Samus is gonna have later in the game, not necessarily everything she's gonna have. And plus, right now we're about to actually watch the excuse this game comes up with for Samus to lose all of her upgrades. Actually, I say all of them. She really only loses, I want to say, everything except the Various suit. She doesn't lose the Various suit, but the Various suit is purely cosmetic this time around. You don't need it this game because there's no heat-based areas in this game. So that's, you know, that's fine. But, you know, but Samus loses everything we're about to have. I think the only thing she has besides the Various suit, I believe, is the Morph Ball and the Charge Beam. I believe she just has the Morph Ball, Charge Beam, and I think that's it. Because she loses her missiles, she loses the Morph Ball bombs, and the Boost Ball, which we did have, by the way. Also, what's funny is that the game tells us that we had power bombs, but we couldn't use them. I don't know if that was just, you know, hey, you had power bombs, but you didn't use them, dumbass. Haha, we didn't tell you. Yep, we lose the Space Jump. We lose the Grapple Beam, even though we weren't using it. The Morph Ball. Or Morph Ball Bomb, sorry, I was about to say. But yeah, they were just telling us, hey, you lost your shit. Honestly, this justification is a little bit better than the one in Prime 1, where Samus gets hit by an explosion and loses all of her shit. I still think the best justification for losing all of your upgrades in the Metroid series, period, in all honesty, is... I want to say... Fusion. Fusion, I think, is the best one, because, you know, Samus lost all of her power suit because of the X-Parasites, so obviously she's going to lose all of her abilities, so it's up to her to, you know, the Galactic Federation's going to send everything back one at a time, or you're going to recover it from the X-Parasites, whatever happens first. Prime 3's isn't that bad. Then again, you don't really lose anything in Prime 3. You start off with a few things, and then you just gain through the rest of the game. So, Prime 3 had a pretty good justification, even though technically you never lose anything. Other M's was straight up stupid. I'll say that every day until I do the Other M Let's Play. Dread was kind of stupid a little bit, thinking back. Because it's just said it was physical amnesia, which, you know, that just sounded like, you know, we couldn't make up an excuse, so we just pulled one out of our ass. But it was fine, at least. Super Metroid didn't even try to justify it. Neither did Metroid 2. They just said, fuck it, you don't have your shit. Metroid 1, obviously, you don't have anything. And then, so, like, I'm actually just kind of genuinely curious what Metroid Prime 4's justification is going to be. She left him in other pants. It's like, damn it, left him in the other ship. Oh, no, it would be the same ship from Prime 3, if I remember right, from the demo. But, I don't know. But I think I already did discuss how I'm approaching this Let's Play. I do intend to make it a 100%, at least, item run through. 100% logbook, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen, because knowing me, I'm going to forget to scan a boss battle, because I'm a thing called a dipshit. So there is that possibility that it won't be a 100% logbook run, because if I remember right, when I did the Metroid Prime 1 Let's Play, I don't remember if I got 100% on the logbook or not. I know I got 100% items, because I still remember the freak out that I had when I wasn't sure, because I remember the last thing I got to be 100% was the Chozo artifact right before you go to the Impact Crater and fight Meta Ridley. And I remember the big scream. If future me could edit that in, that'd be awesome. Come on. Chozo artifact acquired. Yeah! Woohoo! Oh man, thank God. But I actually am kind of contemplating redoing the Metroid Prime 1 Let's Play and using the remaster, but that's not a thing I'm in a rush for. But so I guess I should get into why I'm doing Metroid Prime 2 now, and that is, the big one is because of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond coming out later this year. I do look forward to that. I am also actually working on, I mean, I kind of kept it vague for the Arkham Knight review, which, by the way, I did do the Arkham Knight review. You should totally check that out if you haven't already. Shameless plug. But, I did finish the Arkham Knight review. I kept that shit vague for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why I tried to keep people in suspense. How do you keep an asshole in suspense? I'll tell you tomorrow. But I'm doing a Metroid Prime review. So technically I'm playing 2 Metroid Prime games at once right now. I haven't even started recording footage for that yet. But the thing about Metroid Prime 1 is I've played that game so many damn times. I have it memorized. I have no problem doing it for the review. But the reason I'm doing so much Metroid Prime content right now is because Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year. They said 2025, that's all I know, but I know it's happening this year. And I will say, I remember the day they announced that Metroid Prime 4 was happening in the first place. It was like an E3 of 2015, I want to say. I lost my fucking shit. I remember losing my fucking shit. Because I was like, a Metroid Prime 4, holy shit. I lost it. And then later on you found out they were doing Metroid Samus Returns. We got 2 Metroid games announced, and one of them did release. But plus the wait for more Metroid Prime 4 information was fucking agonizing, to be honest with you. I was so disappointed when I found out they restarted development. But I was also like, you know what? They're taking the time to make sure the game is as good as it can be, so I can't complain. And then, they kind of went radio silent for 5 years? And then, randomly they just dropped a trailer for it, and I'm like, holy shit, this game is fucking awesome. I kind of figured a Metroid Prime 4 trailer was coming, when Metroid Prime Remastered was announced, because they released that at such a weird time, and they shadow dropped the remaster too, which was funny to me. They had no reason they just shadow dropped that. And it just kind of threw me off. Because I was like, wow, that's one of the best games you guys have ever made. And you guys are just going to shadow drop it on your Nintendo Switch website? Like that? You guys are just even going to make a big song and dance about it? That sounds like something you make a big deal about. One of your most critically acclaimed games in one of your flagship franchises. And you guys just say, oh, fuck it, just release it. Don't tell anybody. I mean, they did tell us at that direct. But they just kind of said, oh yeah, we're dropping it today. And I understand why. The Metroid series isn't as popular as the likes of, say, Mario and Zelda and stuff like that, which it's really unfortunate because it's such an underrated franchise to me. I really love the Metroid series, but I understand that it's not highly rated compared, the money makers in Nintendo are Pokemon, Zelda, and Mario. I could tell you that now. Those are the real money makers at Nintendo. And maybe I would say Kirby, but Kirby games don't happen that often. Not as often as Mario and Pokemon, because they release a new Pokemon game every year. To varying quality, of course, but so this isn't, I will say, I'm pretty sure my next couple of Let's Plays are going to be Metroid Prime. So I'm going to be doing this one. I'm going to finish this. I swear to you I will finish this one. I'm already, through Torvus Bog right now. So I will finish this. But then eventually, and then I'm probably, maybe one more Let's Play, or 2, or I don't know yet. Right after, I will be doing Metroid Prime 3 Corruption for the Wii, which I do have the original version of now, so I will be able to play through that, hopefully soon. But it's not going to be, I'm not sure if it's going to be the next Saturday, Sunday Let's Play, because yes, by the way, this is the Saturday, Sunday Let's Play, just wanted to let you guys know that. Happy Saturday and Sundays. So, Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys looked at the thumbnail, and hopefully you guys look at the end screen if you're at this point of the video. But I am trying a little bit of a new thing with the thumbnails, because the font I use by default for most of my thumbnails is Show Card Gothic. But I want to try to make the Let's Plays, have their own aesthetic when it comes to the game I'm playing. I'm not changing Persona 3 Reload's thumbnail. I'm not doing that. But for at least the next couple of Let's Plays, I'm going to try experimenting a little bit with the thumbnails, especially with their fonts. So currently right now, I do have the font for the thumbnail and the end screen to be like the Metroid Prime font that they use. You know, the font they use whenever they tell you what area you're in when you start your file. I tried to have that. I also tried to make the end screen edited like that a little bit. But you'll see when we do the end screen, because I actually want to try a little bit harder to make the editing a little more interesting for the Let's Plays. That's kind of something I've been trying to do for a while. I've been trying to make my editing a little bit more than just plopping just cutting up the video into however many minute long parts and then just sending it out. Slapping an end screen and then sending it out. I'm not perfect at it. There are times where the video is just doing that. But, I'm trying a little bit, having, future me edit random shit in, having little interactions between me and future me, I guess. I'm trying, because, after I broke 100 subscribers, which I'm still really happy about, I know it's not a huge milestone, but I still, think it's a really good one. I still think it's a nice, thing to, be proud of, celebrate the small things. So, but I'm trying a little bit harder to be a little bit better at making my videos more interesting. I'm not going to be putting in, I'm not going to put, fucking Subway Surfers and shit to keep you guys engaged or whatever. But, I'm going to try to at least be a little bit better with editing. But, we'll see. But that's actually going to do it for this part of Metroid Prime 2. Yeah, that's it. By the way, those Galactic Federation Soldiers, they dead. So the next time we meet in Metroid Prime 2, we're going to be continuing on through the temple grounds, and hopefully we'll find more information about what happened to the Galactic Federation and what those weird black creatures were. No, they aren't the black arms from Shadow the Hedgehog, but, well, we'll find out. So see you guys next time, and take care.